I'm Allison Nieder, and today I'm speaking with the team at Star Fades International, the LA area denim laundry recently acquired by Artistic Milliners. I'm joined by SFI co-founder Murtaza Ahmed, Chief Operating Officer Tony Rodriguez, Vice President of Design Elena Miller, Senior Technical Designer Amber Isaac. Welcome everyone, good to see you. Together, this group has a long history in the denim business with specific experience in the Los Angeles denim industry. With that in mind, I'm going to start with you, Tony. What is the current state of denim production in LA and in the US?
A lot of the brands are coming back into LA, and we see a growing also in the mid-US market. So it's been great, to be honest with you, and very surprising.
Awesome. Murtaza, I want to turn to you. Can you briefly define Supply Chain 4.0 and tell us how the principles of Supply Chain 4.0 inform how SFI approaches denim production in LA?
Absolutely. Thank you, Allison. Yeah, that's a good question. Supply Chain 4.0, first of all, has multiple meanings. But essentially, if you get to the crux of it, Supply Chain 4.0 is the adoption of Internet of Things, along with advanced robotics and rapid digitization in the supply chain. What that essentially means is that the traditional method of supply chain is that the consumer speaks to the store speaks to the distribution center speaks to the factory, and there's a lag of demand planning and predictive analysis. What Supply Chain 4.0 does with digitization and IoT is that now all of these different parts of the supply chain talk in omni-channel. So the speed with which information is relayed throughout the supply chain changes completely. And what that does essentially is that gives us all the opportunity to truly respond in time to demand. Now, what all of this does and how SFI fits into this, we don't know in the long term what this does to the global denim supply chain, but for sure what we see is that nearshoring becomes a very integral part of catering to this new information flow.
Excellent. Well, that brings me to my next question. This panel is titled Denim's Domestic Revival. How do you see SFI's role in that revival?
So Denim's domestic revival is already on its way. SFI is bringing the latest in sustainable technology to LA. LA at one point had 125 laundries, and today you can count just a few. Along with the reduction in domestic manufacturing, there was also a rapid outward flow of technology and sustainability. So SFI right now is working on carving global partnerships to bring the latest in technology and sustainability back to LA. An example of these global partnerships is that we realized very early on in our acquisition that most of the cutting edge sustainable chemical suppliers, for example, no longer had offices or distribution in LA. So I'm happy to report that through our global relationships, we're making progress in convincing sustainable technology suppliers, both hardware and chemicals, to relook at LA as a place where they would want to be. And we're having some pretty good success with that. And then along with this 360-degree sustainable solution, we're also providing speed manufacturing and sustainable solutions to the industry.
Interesting. I'm going to shift gears a little. I'd like to talk to you, Amber. As a technical designer, can you talk about some of the key innovations in denim and how SFI will build on those?
Yeah, I think the biggest innovation that we've implemented is 3D design. This is absolutely key in Supply Chain 4.0 and has enabled us to go straight to pre-production sample right from first proto by only consuming one physical garment. We've been using avatars that we've customized to mirror our fit model and conduct virtual fittings to establish balance, fit, detail, all of that even before fabric is even cut. In addition, we've used our dry process laser machine, Genealogia, which seamlessly integrates into the 3D platform and allows us to simulate using actual artwork in our renderings, pressure maps, tension maps, they all help to get a consistent fit. We're also utilizing fabric scans, which give us the physical characteristics in 3D. And then finally, we're using ray tracing technology, which gives us a render output that is photorealistic. So we've just seen such a positive response from using these tools, and we're really excited to see our carbon footprint shrink as we continue to innovate in the future.
Nice, exciting. Elena, you have worked for some of the biggest premium denim brands, so you can really speak as from a designer's perspective. How do US-based premium denim brands approach production?
Well, for several US-based brands, approaching production means involving an entire team. And that starts with creating tech packs, ordering fabric, completing the marking and grading. And then you have to start working with your outside vendors, which means sending the fabric outside to be cut, sending those cut goods to be sewn to someone else. So sending the sewn goods to be washed, and then finally having those washed goods pressed and trimmed. And so that's like a lot of relationships there, and like sometimes working with up to 5 different vendors. In other scenarios, a jean can be developed here in LA, the sampling process can be completed, and then that perfect standard gets sent overseas to be replicated. And based on the communication between the laundries, the different chemicals that were used, that can be up to par, or sometimes it can't. And these scenarios create opportunities for mistakes and delays in the production process. So they also rely heavily on the relationships with all the vendors that you're using, that those vendors will deliver quality product in a timely manner. So it can be very challenging for smaller brands that don't have a vertical setup.
Well, that brings me to a question about 360-degree design. Can you briefly define it and then tell us about SFI's approach?
Absolutely. So our approach to 360 design begins as early as the inspiration phase. We're providing our partners with trend research as well as mood boards, and we're able to take their feedback from that. They can give us their inspiration too. We can sketch into that and come up with garment concepts. And from that stage, working with Amber and our pattern making teams, we can create 3D renderings of the garments that they have in mind. And we can work however closely with the designers they'd like, or be as like hands off and just show them a final sample when we're ready, depending on how they like to work. And then once that process is done and the sample is signed off, due to our like wash recipe logging software that we have here in LA, we can either go straight into production here, or we can go into production in Pakistan with artistic milliners and have all that information translated directly to the wash house over there. The same chemicals are being used, the teams are communicating seamlessly, and ultimately we're able to provide a premium product using that, that series of steps.
Excellent. My next question is actually for Tony and Murtaza, and if we can maybe start with Tony and then we'll wrap up with Murtaza. What is next for SFI?
So we back in LA, we back here, we open our plans to you guys, those new designers, the old designers, you know, we're still here. And message to them is, look, we had done it before on the 90s, on the 2000s. Now come and play again. It's a different rules, but you know what? We're still having fun, and welcome you guys back. You know, so let's bring LA back to the Mecca they always been. You know, so I can wait for you guys to come back. You know?
And Murtaza, what have you got planned?
I love the simplicity of what Tony said. We're back. Yeah, we're back. So it's very exciting, but I want to touch upon what we've already done. We have the top premium LA brands working in the laundry right now. We plan on upgrading the technology and adding to capacity. So we had 2 laser machines. Now we have a 3rd one under installation. We also have the latest Tonello washing machines on order, which will be installed by June. So we're getting prepared to make SFI into a real destination for denim, not only in LA, but in all of North America. So exciting times ahead. and we're back.
Well, excellent. Thank you all for joining me today and telling me a little bit about what you have been working on and what you have planned.
Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.